Welcome to episode 176 of Drew Sports Crew here on this Sunday night, back on our usual schedule. And look, we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about this week, right? A Brewer 2-game sweep of the Minnesota Twins at AmFam West Field in Minneapolis. How about that? And then also, we got to talk about, unfortunately, the Bucks Summer League. Fortunately, though, it's came to an end after an 0-5. Yep, they didn't win a single game in 5 tries out in Vegas. I'll touch on that, some bright spots, some not so bright spots, and so on. So that's kind of what we got planned for this episode. I did want to mention, though, at Drew Sports Crew, Instagram and TikTok or YouTube Shorts here. Just a lot of fun content. I recently posted a $15 budget NBA post where you get to choose and budget to build your best five, your best starting five possible. We went ahead and did that. I built what I thought would be a best, but I had a whole bunch of you all comment back your lineups, and it was cool to see a lot of good variety and so on. So check that out if on TikTok, YouTube, or on Instagram. We got some fun stuff for baseball this week I'll be doing. But I'm also looking budget-wise. I might do those for NFL and MLB as well. I think those are a lot of fun and certainly great ones to play. So we'll do that. But speaking of content, right, this week you can expect Journey to Million hoping on Wednesday. Wednesday, the plan. But I'll keep you all posted on if that changes. How about we should get a little screen share going? Let's get a little grid here to start. And I think it's a grid day. So let's do it right away. Right away when I open this up. So I saw Edwin Jackson because he just shows up everywhere, like Cubs and Braves. I think I'm gonna put him there just because he just shows up. He just every single time. And then I saw Jeff Samardzija. I don't know if anyone would have else. Okay, other people thought Jeff Samardzija too. I always think of he was involved in like this brawl probably a decade ago now, where it might have been Cubs White Sox. I think there's a big brawl and he was just throwing haymakers. Maybe it was when he was on the Giants. I don't know. I see Chris Coughlin, but he was Cub and Blue Jay. I don't know if he ever got to the Braves. So I really don't want to say that one. There's a vet that works in one of these spots here. I just got to think more about it. I thought no, Will Smith. I don't think was a Pirate. Will Smith was a Giant. He was so it does not work there. Okay, Caboose played catcher. I had a really good name. Obviously, Soto is going to be high. Oh, it escaped me. It was in those losing years when they had like Junior Lake, guys of that nature. I don't want to just say Soto. Soto's going to be super high. Same with Ross, obviously. Five. Okay, I knew Yan Gomes would be kind of safe. Not really. Catcher for the Blue Jays. This is a good one. I don't think Moreno ever. He did. No, I think he did. Yeah, that was a good play. When that Varsho trade, it kind of worked out for that. Okay, Pirates now. Let's get a Pirate catcher. Pirate catcher. So I'm thinking the high percentage guys. Like it's gonna be like Henry Davis, Russell Martin are like the top two who are gonna show up. Austin, is it Hedges? Was he a Pirate? There's a guy like that who was a Pirate. I always mix up. Is it Hedges? It was Hedges. Okay, so we're doing well. Let's bring it home here. 4 left. However, it's the team ones. Oh, I thought I saw Marco Estrada, but I don't think so. You just can't hope he was a Giant. Let me come up with some real names here. McCutcheon. I mean, McCutcheon's always gonna be high. I'm gonna put him down just to get through it. We still have immaculate draft I want to get to today as well. Um, Braves and Jackson just takes up the spot there. Chris Archer? No, was hoping to see him. We do not. Vogelback? No, no. There's so many guys who overlap with this left side who I'm just getting. It helps on El Central. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just gonna say him. No, I don't think Coughlin. I think he might have been a Brave. I do. No, he wasn't. Not sure. We'll take the results here. Just for sake of time, we'll move on. So some of these were lower spots, like obviously Bond. I like McGriff. I was just trying to go those low names here. Let's switch up here. We fly through these. You all know how it goes. What team did the Oakland A's play when they had the reverse boycott? I thought it was the Rays. It was. I did watch that. So that is how I knew that. Which MLB player holds the records for most hits, home runs, and total bases in a single postseason? Is it Daniel Murphy? I think it's Daniel Murphy. I was going to say Reggie Jackson. It is a Rosarena. That was the other famous postseason. Which player has never? These are always classics. I think we established some of these. I think Swanson did. A little overrated, but Turner, yeah. Posey, yeah. Actually, it might be Turner. I think we established Turner did at one point. It could be McCutcheon, but you feel like with Pittsburgh, he definitely won one. Posey, obviously. Bellinger probably did. Yeah, he did. I'll say McCutcheon. It was Turner. I feel like they've had that on there, and I feel like he has, but I guess not. Last year, who did not win a Gold Glove? Okay, here we go. I think Arenado still did. A little like overrated. Tatis, maybe not because of the suspension stuff. But he plays Gold Glove global defense. Walker and Swanson, both these guys should have, and I think they did. Both play phenomenal defense. Kim definitely. It was Arenado. I know his streak ended last year. I guess messing that up. Ooh, I should know this. NL MVP in 2015. I'm going to come back to that one. That was the Mets won the World Series. Was that Harper? A Harper MVP? It was. This stadium is home to. Sorry, I gotta zoom. It's not like well zoomed in at all on my screen. Is that Angels Stadium or is that Cleveland? I think that's Cleveland. I'll say like it looked like Angels at the Padres. I didn't even see the. That's brutal. I couldn't tell. I couldn't see the left field. You know how they have the thing in left field? I don't think it was zoomed in well for me. This is Jonathan Scope. So I'm gonna get that one then. Where there you go. I honestly couldn't see the left field. That was almost embarrassing, but I know what I saw. Last Red Sox player to win Rookie of the Year. I think this was Koji. This is my guess. It is Pedroia. Okay, I overthought that one too. Which player did not win a Silver Slugger in 2023? I'm gonna say Lindor. It is Ozzy Albies. Okay, yeah, those award ones are like eh. Okay, so Kershaw did in 14, McCutcheon in 13, Harper must have been 15. Yeah. See, my math adds up. All right, it was a 3 out of 9. Should probably be higher. Unfortunate there. Let's get into the sports news though. We'll start with the Bucks. Disappointing Summer League. The fifth game they played against Washington, they lost 91-79. Um, Overall, the Summer League, right? We knew it was about development. That's how it's been with the Bucks, right? It's been about trying to grow and build upon each game, but unfortunately, each game has consisted, and we have a great game and then a setback. I mean, and these still featured wins too, mind you. So it's saying it featured better. Like we just saw improvement across some players. I would say with AJ Johnson, right? It was a disappointing end to his summer league, and you'll see these classic, not so great games from a lot of players who turn out great in the summer league. I mean, it's just the beauty of the summer league, how it's that much of a step up, in respects to competition, and we saw AJ Johnson 0 for 12 from the field, 0 for 7 from three, with three rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 turnovers. Look, that was all in 16 minutes. So just an unfortunate stat line for Johnson. I think that was a takeaway here. His little streakiness for him. Beauchamp didn't play in this one, but kind of a step back from him in the summer league too was kind of disappointing too. Um, Same with with Ajax, seeing him, Andre Jackson, how he's performed in the summer league too was disappointing, I'd say. I mean, the offense you don't necessarily expect to be there for him, but in the summer league you were hoping you could have saw a little boost maybe in his offensive output, but you didn't. And not a whole lot of guys. I'd say Chris Livingston was kind of a bright spot. So you got to see him finally like take some sort of role, and he ended up molding to it pretty well, I'd say. But otherwise, it's not a whole lot of celebrating going on. And this last game featured a lot of other guys too for both squads. Just not like the main summer league guys, but fifth game, Bucks go 0-5. Look, it was a summer league to forget, I'd say, but I mean, out of all things to forget, that's an easy one to do. So it's like, oh, this team had a bad spring training, a little different, but it doesn't matter, right? I mean, the regular season is what matters, and I do think the Bucks, right? We know that they will be in a better spot in the regular season, and they with the team they have around them, the coach, and so on. So I'm optimistic, and I think, right, we know the summer league doesn't matter, but we have to trust what our eyes saw, and we trust that Chris Livingston, I think, could have a solid spot on this team. We think Andre Jackson, also, and then AJ Johnson, what kind of role is he going to have to begin the season? I don't think it's going to be that a sizable role, but I think it's going to be a lot of development here this first year for Johnson. So that's what we're looking at for Summer League. Just a brief update on that. A quick Packer note was Kenny Clark. They did sign a 3-year, $64 million extension. I haven't actually seen kind of how the contract is looking in terms of what the money's looking like, cap hit, and so on. Let's see if the numbers are out. They're not. Signing bonus. We don't know what the cap hits are, so it gets kind of tough with how that contract is going to be structured. But look, Kenny Clark's a guy they needed to get to lock down. He's age 28 right now, turning 29. So, getting near the end, but they got him for 3 more years. I'm sure that last year is going to have an easy cut or easy way to get out of for age 31. I don't mind it, especially at the D tackle spot. He's been a solid guy for them, and he's going to continue to put up numbers, and you want to lock him down, and that's what they did. So Clark extension, 3 years, 64. No exact details yet, though. They want to talk here then, right, about the Brewers. How about these last 2 games for Milwaukee in Minnesota? Rain delays to start each, so that didn't change. Shout out to all the Brewer fans who made it out to Minneapolis. I feel like for Western Wisconsin, this is just such a great series. And thank goodness for 2025. It won't be. So they played 5 games, I believe. Or it might have been a 2-game series again. There's 4 games, I believe. It usually is. And that's what it is. I didn't know if this year was 5 because of opening day, but I don't think it was. I think it was 4 total. They're gonna be adding 2 games, so it'll be actually 2 3-game series to help with the rivalry games for, Major League Baseball, so it'll be 6 games against the Twins in 2025, which with that schedule came out, um, and the Twins that it's just a great series. And it's like, okay, they're not in the same division even, so it's not like this heated rivalry. It's just a good rivalry, It's 2 states close. You get that with the fans, and yeah, a whole lot of Brewer fans, and that's where American Family West came out because it was the most attended game in Twins history, regular season history, at Target Field last night. So I shouldn't say Twins history. I should say Target Field history. Target Field opened in 2009. So, you think about it, 15 years. It was only regular season, so not postseason, but that's something, right? It wasn't an opening day. No, it was a Saturday night regular season game against the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewer fans traveled for this one. We talk about "Let's Go Brewer" chants. You heard them multiple times throughout both games, which is something you like to see, including right in Saturday. Just absolute thriller. A 12 inning win for Milwaukee. Um, just one of those games where you didn't know who was going to win, and you thought the Brewers were going to win all along, and sure enough, they did. But um, it just didn't come easy. It really didn't. The Brewers, right, last strike, they thought they had him. Junis, unfortunate, gives up that home run to Santana, but I think the big takeaway was this weekend, especially, was Jackson Chourio at this stage at 20 years old can take over games in a way that is just generational to see. I'd say for maybe not generational, maybe that was a little bit of a stretch, but in a way that not every 20-year-old can do so. And that's just you see some of the potential, right? With how he is going to develop and how he has developed already throughout the course of the year. Um, the Brewers still managed to win 8-4 yesterday, which is just baffling. Again, in 12 innings, they did get a gift though with Steven Okert picking up that bunt that was foul. That was something. And then Freddie Peralta with a quality start, 6 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts. No, but back to Chourio though, 3 for 5, 2 RBIs, a run scored, 2 stolen bases. He's had great defense too this weekend. He had that home run today on Sunday as well. Just a lot of good things to see from Chourio. But yeah, Christian Yelich with the bunt of the year, maybe. Blake Perkins with the not bunt of the year, which we ranted about here on the show. Let's talk about a good bunt, right? Christian Yelich just drops someone down and surprises everybody and reaches base. Or doesn't reach base, I meant, but gets the sacrifice. Just that was a game-winning play. The unfortunate thing with Yelich, though, he's out of the lineup today. Back was reportedly tightening up. You want to have him back for this 3-game series this week against the Cubs, right? You just want to. So that was the unfortunate thing that came out of this weekend. But like Adames stayed consistently hot. We talk about Chourio having Ortiz back, even with the scary slides. His neck seems all good. Having him is just huge. How about having Jared Koenig back? You see him on Sunday pitch out of it. Having that guy, he was a guy who was missed. We've seen Zastryzny more, which is fine. Zastryzny's a guy who can get lefties out if need be. He got his one out, but right now he's got to be like a pure lefty specialist. I think that's kind of where he's been most effective, and he's earned the role, right? He's pitched down high leverage situations in 7th, 8th, or 9th. He started just opening games or facing the 3 batters only to start the game, and now we're starting to see him get more pressure situations, I'd say, and he's really handled it well. I don't know. You really got to be pleased with what you've seen out of him so far this year. Has really helped the bullpen too. We did see Miguel pitch on back-to-back days. We saw Hudson pitch and give up another run yesterday. I bring it up, right? Jared and I were talking about Brian Hudson on our football show. It mattered because, just overall we were talking about all-star games and so on, the snubs, of course, with the NFL Pro Bowl, but just frustrating too with Hudson not getting the love, and now he's starting to give up some runs. He should have been getting love and then didn't get the love and then started to give up the runs. So that's just overall how I see it as and how others would as well. Same with McGill. McGill gave up a couple runs too this weekend, which is also unfortunate. But that's my rant on that. But we talk about Sundays too. Eric Haas. Anyone have an Eric Haas a 2 home run game on their bingo card? Because you would have gotten bingo. I promise you that. That was something today. And you like to see it for the Brewers. Just get a spark. Get a spark from someone who might not always put up those big numbers, but you do see that, and him having the two home runs. Do like to see sometimes MLB.com puts out like their player of the game based on like win probability added. Truier was number one with 41.1%. And then Eric Haas, 22.6, 2 home runs. Crazy to see. Two players had 2 home runs in this one. Byron Buxton did for the Twins, and then Haas for the Brewers. That was just a fun thing to see too. Sanchez, unfortunately, still on the IL, but not to fear. You had Haas at the 9 spot. Your 8 and 9 hitters today put up a majority of the runs. How about the bottom of the order? You love when the bottom of the order has the big game, and that's what we saw. Jared Koenig, we soon have to be calling him right the vulture as we did with Brent Suter back in the day. I say that a couple years ago. Koenig is now 8-1 with a 1.62 ERA. Jared Koenig has 8 wins. That is what you like to see. He's doing it with an ERA under 2, so it's not like he's like just stealing all these wins, but just funny to see. And then also Hoskins hitting that home run too. Can't forget that. That was a nice touch too. That was his 15th already this year. So on pace for a nice like 25 home run season is Hoskins before free agency for him. So that'll be a treat. But otherwise, right, Brewers get that 8-7 win here. They take both those games. They're only up 5 games on the Cardinals, and they have a pretty smooth week, I'd say, ahead. They have the Cubs for 3. That's the one where it's like, okay, hopefully they win that series, but you never know in Wrigley. They face some of the Cubs' top pitchers. You don't know how it's going to go. They do see Justin Steele again this series, it seems. So that's the unfortunate game I have to choose the loss for. I feel as I like the matchups, the first 2. I like Tobias Harris, or I can't be doing that again. Tobias Myers against the Cubs. I think that's going to be a nice matchup for him. But also this Brewers offense, they picked it up the last 2 days, 8 runs in both games. I think this hopefully should be a series win in Chicago. Miami, I'm hoping for the sweep. I am a little concerned with how the Sunday matchup plays out, that we could see Max Meyer from them, who has pitched very well so far coming back from injury. And it's one of those right-handed pitchers that has a good whiff rate, or I say gets a lot of swinging strikes and can really rack up strikeouts, where we see the Brewers sometimes struggle. Not like against like the premier righties. Like sometimes they can just hang in there with those guys, and we've seen that this year. This is a much better offense, but we've seen the guys who strike out a lot of hitters where when they get in the groove, I mean, I'm not even mentioning Paul Skeens, right? We saw Lopez getting a little groove too yesterday, and that kind of threw off the Brewers, and he's a guy who racks up strikeouts too. We've seen it other times throughout the year. Ben Brown is one with the Cubs, right? I mean, it's not a guy you expected to rack up the strikeouts, but he did, and he had himself a day against them earlier this year. But point is, hoping for a 4-2 week. I think we're going to see one, and we do have that would help with the division lead. I mentioned at 5 games. They're only like 2 or 3 games back of the Dodgers too, so that's another thing. Like, if you can catch the Dodgers, right, the importance of LA, you might wonder they're not even in our division. But the idea is top 2 teams in their respective leagues get that first round bye, which the Brewers have not because they've been in that dreaded wild card series, right? If we can get that bye, that would lead to having a divisional round series right away at home. So that'd be a huge win for the Brewers. Hopefully we can see that. They can beat the Dodgers for that spot. because I imagine Philly has that spot lockdown barring an extreme collapse, but we'll wait and see. And that's all I have this week. I'll hope to see you all later this week for Journey to Million. But if not, have a great week. Check out again content at Drew Sports Crew on all social media platforms. That'll wrap it here. Thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.